Good day and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I'm your host, the voice of reason. So, I wanted to cover a little bit about some things that have been reported on the mainstream media in regards to the Russian buildup and now the apparent possible withdrawal of some forces from the Ukraine border. But right now, you're kind of hearing some comparisons to what's going on now around the Ukraine in terms of this Russian withdrawal to what occurred in 2008 uh, during the so-called Russian invasion of Georgia. That again is reported by the mainstream media. So, yes, the Russians held military exercises around 2008, and there was a buildup of localized of forces. Not much though, really not much of forces around Georgia, and the Georgians were looking to retake control of this area, which is South Ossetia, and then this area as well was Abkhazia, and both these areas you can see in the Google Earth map that they're red, so it's considered disputed territory. But both of these regions had separated from Georgia and are locally controlled by their own little governments. But in 2008, Georgia, led by Saakashvili, prepared and launched an attack against South Ossetia to reclaim control of this area. And in doing so, they also attacked a Russian peacekeeping base that was located in this province as well, this little tiny region of South Ossetia. Well, the Russians were not going to allow this area to come under the control of the Georgian government and launched an operation to prevent the Georgians from taking over South Ossetia. So again, this area was not controlled by the government of Georgia. It was controlled by its own localized government with some support of Russia acting as peacekeeping forces near this disputed border. But the Georgian military, supported with heavy artillery, tanks, actually launched an operation, briefly seized control of the main city here, and was looking to completely take control of the entire small province of South Ossetia, which again had broken away from Georgia proper. Well, the Russians decided they were not going to let this happen and launched a counterattack to prevent the Georgians from taking control of South Ossetia. And that involved the movement of forces into South Ossetia. They then retook the capital, engaged Georgian forces that had entered this area, and they moved down to set up blocking positions near and around the city of Guri. And that's what they did. They also conducted an amphibious operation where they seized control of this port here of Pati, and had moved further forces into Abkhazia. And certain elements of Abkhazian forces also entered the conflict. And again, this was designed to prevent the Georgian takeover of South Ossetia, which it did. After a ceasefire was declared, once the Russians had finally, in theory, could have threatened Tbilisi, would they have moved all the way to Tbilisi? Unsure of. It's hard to say, but they did launch enough military capability into Georgia by seizing the port and threatening Tbilisi that the Georgians called a ceasefire and respected the existing border that existed prior to the Georgians entering South Ossetia. So again, you hear about in relation to the Ukraine because the Russians are withdrawing, that in fact we could see some sort of renewed invasion, much like the invasion of Georgia. Well, there was no invasion of Georgia. There was never a planned invasion to seize additional territory inside of Georgia. It was done in response to Georgian military activity against this area of South Ossetia, which there was no Georgian forces. This area was not. This area did not contain Georgian forces and was not annexed by the Russian Federation. There was no Georgian forces in here uh, prior to the 2008 conflict, as the same in Abkhazia. So just some clarification on some news reports that the mainstream media seem to never get right, and I just wanted to provide some clarification. Have a great day, everybody.